Good day! Welcome to the stream!
Hello, everyone! Welcome to Three Sheets One Shot. Hey, Joe, how are you today?
I'm fine. Shall we try another intro? Let's have another intro.
I think you should go for it. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Let's hear it. Let's hear a good one.
Broadcasting from her secret mountain lair deep in the Appalachian Mountains, it's Qyjari's Three Sheets One Shot.
That's perfect. I love that one.
It is a good one.
I do like that one. I like that. But I like all the different ones that you've come up with so far. Okay, so hey everyone, we've missed you last week.
A hearty welcome to Rylan, the necromancer of dead topics.
Hey, Rylan.
Hi, Rylan.
I don't see you chatting on Streambot, which means I probably have to restart Streambot again.
Oh, it was a kind of like emote chat, with the command where it doesn't come up as the white text. It comes up as the same color text.
Yeah, but I don't see him in Streamlabs. Let me just close it down so I can everyone's gonna see my screen. Isn't that a beautiful background?
It is very nice.
That's Michael Mordor. I have access to that because I am a patron of his.
So Rylan, how is things tonight?
What's
how
going
are
on,
you?
Rylan? Okay, let's see. Now you can do it again, Rylan, and then we'll hear your necromancer thing again. Where is... I want to make sure the giveaway's going. Here we go. Let me just hit open giveaway. Okay. All right. There we go. Hello! Okay, so here we go.
A hearty welcome to Rylan,
that's better.
the necromancer of dead topics.
Okay, now I can see him chat, so we're good. We're good. It wouldn't be Qyjari's Curious Crafts, Three Sheets, One Shot, or Mimsy's Whimsy without something going wrong, right, Joe?
Well, it is what we've come to be accustomed to.
Yeah, that's right. It is the norm at this point. Okay, so we have a lot to catch up on because we weren't here last week, and I hope people remember the story up till now. I went ahead and, poor Joe, I sent him the PDF of the file so that he could catch up like 10 minutes ago. So he's frantically trying to read.
Someone needs you all to wait. I just need everybody just to hold on.
Everyone hold on, let him catch up.
Hey, Take 20.
Hey, Take 20. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have a fun night tonight because we're going to design a parkour map.
Parkour.
Of elemental awesomeness. 4 different, from the Proxys, which is our center. I like how you guys can see my hands here. I'm trying to hold them up. The center of our map, well, you know what? I could pull that map up. Let me see if I can find it. Where all the things come together, right? Did I put that reference? Where did I put that? At the very beginning? I put that reference somewhere. Right here. Here we go. So you see, can you see my mouse? Okay, good. See this little island right here? This is the nexus of our world, but we call it the Proxys, and that's kind of an inside joke because of my Proxon machine. So it's the Proxys, and there are 10 doors into this Phaline, sort of this, right? The Phaline, what is it called? Ley line. Ley
lines, that's right.
There are 6 obvious ones, which you can see at the ends of the lines, but there are 4 more along the lines. And one of them is Ravenscroft, which is further south, Tarathiel, Maeston, which is a very important city in our world. We'll get to that later. Ferncrest, which is the King Anselin, which is the king of like sort of the human zone. What do you call it?
Kingdom.
The kingdom. Thank you. And then there's one that has not been discovered. That's what we're working on. We're working on Hilda's Lament, which is not a major city. It's just an old temple ruins that they're not even sure the door's there. And this is where we're sending our adventurers to see if they can find this 10th door. And because of all the crisscrosses and everything on this map, they believe that's where it is. But once you go into any one of these 9 currently known doors, you land in the Proxus. And if you need a guide for reference, think EverQuest and the Nexus, or I think, isn't there a Nexus in WoW? Something like that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of Nexus, and there's a P word too.
Yeah, some sort of centered thing with like wheels of spokes of a wheel kind of spreading out. So our Proxus, all these doors take you there, and then from there you have to go to one of 4 halls. And these halls, you can't get to them unless you can parkour. This is what you guys all decided. So this is your world happening right now. You have to get there by parkouring onto land masses or some sort of masses, some sort of thing, to get to these halls. And because my world of Amynrath, our world, is designed around the 4 major elements, fire, earth, air, and water, we decided to make the parkour part of it based on those elements. So we have to have some sort of parkour over water and over earth and somehow through the air and somehow through fire. So that's what I thought we would work on tonight. There's no Hall of Dwarves, Rylan. I'm so sorry.
Wait.
I know, we've just lost Joe. There's no dwarves. There's no necromancers either, Rylan.
Me and Rylan are gonna riot.
Yeah, you guys are out. So let's go down to page 49 of this document so far. And by the way, it's page 49, and I've only edited the first 2 chapters fully. I'm currently editing.
I thought you were gonna say first 2 pages. I was like, oh.
Chapters? No, the chapters have turned out like one night has turned into like 40 pages of final written editing. So that's cool though. It'll make a great game, right? And all right, so we're on Light Seekers, right? That's the arc we're on, because we've already kind of written the first arc, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
There's a secret hall of undeath. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe we decided that death is there instead of fire. Ooh, that'd be cool.
Could work. What else? There could be with wind. There could be
yes.
Cold.
I like it.
Lightning.
Oh yes, like the void, similar to what it is in Destiny 2. What is it? Void and solar, and something else. But yeah, we can play with all of that. We decided to tonight, Joe and I say we. I asked him if he'd do this, and he was like, sure. That we would try to describe these 4 elemental parkour puzzles. So let's make them all very different, and we'll start with the easiest one. Let's start with Earth. So I'll just start typing Earth, and I want some suggestions from the chat as to what kind of Earth. It could be an island. It could be it could be sandy, like desert, anything that's Earth-like. What kind of parkour that would be fun to get our players to have to kind of not defeat, but a challenge to get them from the Proxus to the hall of that elemental plane, or that elemental hall, whatever.
And when you say parkour, are we gonna try and keep it confined or focused on strength acrobatics checks? Or could we open it to more interpretation of how a person would progress through these elements? Like, could you maybe do an intelligence check to see the platform in front of you that had been otherwise obscured by wind and fog?
Definitely. I agree with that. I agree that it should not be all strength or dex based. I think it should, I think some of every one of them should be different ability checks. So,
Go back, Rylan.
like the voodoo. I don't know if it's voodoo. I think it's void.
I believe the 3 elements we're looking for are sugar, spice, and element X.
And everything nice.
And then you get the Powerpuff Girls.
And puppy dog tails. You did type void and it didn't come out. It came out voodoo. It's auto-correcting you. Nice. But I think you're right. I think it shouldn't just rely on strength or on dexterity checks. It should be some wisdom and arcana or
Sure.
something different. I think definitely because the adventurers that we're gonna send through this. Guess what? Adele Mori and Drake have arrived, so all mayhem has broken loose upstairs in anticipation. I just heard a huge scream from upstairs, so sorry about that, everybody.
And that was Drake.
I don't know who it was. It was one of the 4. They're all going hog wild out there. They don't get to see Del Mori that much, so.
in my head canon, it was Drake. It was Drake. He just.
It was Drake. Sure. They're probably raiding my refrigerator right now, actually, all 4 of them.
Oh, Lord.
We're excited about tomorrow, I have to say. Okay, so let's start with Earth. Obviously, the first thing we should have them do is a strength check. So something about moving Earth. Oh, I wonder if there could be a number. I won't say a number because we could come up with different things. Something that starts them out like this. Like the first thing is strength, and it's based on doing something from point A to point B, and that's part of the parkour. And then the next would be arcana or int or something. So every member of the party has a contribution toward getting to the next step. So it's this moving puzzle that they have to figure out using their different strengths.
Yeah, I like that. So
okay.
So what do you think? Well, let's look at this. So what's the ideal party you envision for this? Like 4?
Sure.
5?
4, yeah. 4 or 5. Probably one that's range or strength or range or dex based. Definitely strength based, int based, and well, there could be a charisma based one because
I'll just start throwing things out here, and you in chat, you just let me know what sticks. Rylan, anybody who's watching, if you guys have an idea, just type it up there. Oops. What if with Earth, so there could be a strength check to overcome maybe mud or quicksand.
I love it.
Of that, or there could be what if the bridge to go from platform to platform is an earth elemental, and
I love it.
Kill it or knock it down to get to bridge the gap between the 2 places, or if you wanted to not focus so much on physical tests, they could just maybe dispel the magic that's holding it together, and it dispels itself into the bridge, or I
love it.
What else do you have with Earth? You've got earthquakes, so there could be a dexterity check to stay upright.
Yes.
What else is with Earth? You got landslides.
I'm gonna write that down too. And while you're talking, I'm gonna remind everybody that landslide. I can't type tonight. I've only had like a half a glass of wine.
Well, that's the reason. That's the problem. You haven't gone. You gotta keep going, and then you'll come back around to coherent.
All right, let me just get another one.
I would have so laughed if that was just like a box, and you
with
just
a straw.
Make it, or a straw, yeah.
I need to get one of those hats that has the straws that come down so I can type and drink at the same time. All right, landslides. I love this. This is exactly what we do during 3 Sheets 1 Shot. We drink. What are you drinking tonight, by the way, Joe?
I am drinking the bitter potion of regret from having forgotten to get anything to drink.
No! You have to have something. He's got
Yeah.
3 sheets for a reason. We
Yeah,
go
if I
way
could-
beyond 3 sheets.
I sat down and got all my stuff together, and when I looked up, it was time to start stream. I didn't have time to go and grab a drink, so
well, we need to
I
give you 2 minutes to go get something while I type some more stuff and look at chat. Hello,
Okay.
Autumn. Yeah, go grab something. And I got a little gnat or something here bothering me anyway, so go grab something, and we will chat. I will chat with chat, and I will keep chatting. Dex to stay upright during an earthquake. We get a landslide. Are there earth-based puzzles? Other earth-based problems? I do like the quake. I like the quake a lot. Something to push. Maybe monoliths to push out of the way. And then while he's away, we will go to air and wind and come up with some other ideas there. So obviously air and wind would be flying. Some sort of issue with flying. Or not a mist, because that would be water, but some sort of obscure, let's see, I can't think of the word. Something that is, visually difficult. Like darkness, I guess. That's kind of air. It's still air. Darkness. It's more like a light, but we can work with that. Or I'll put clouds. Cloud cover. And for water, obviously it would be breathing. Some sort of dex check for having to deal with that motion of being sort of like anti-gravity, where if you're in water, you really can't be upright. For swimming. Welcome back. Did you get something? What'd you get? Fire.
okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We went on to, and did more things. I say we, the royal we, went on and just added some more things as we were brainstorming. But we can definitely go back to Earth. What are you drinking now? You got, I hear that
is peach juice, bourbon, and honey.
Wow, you put that together just now?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. How is it?
Effective.
That's all that matters.
Cause I overpoured.
Did you really?
Yeah.
He's gonna be 3 sheets soon, folks.
It's,
It does sound good, doesn't it, Autumn?
it's strong.
Us Georgia girls, we like our peaches, that's for sure.
Well, that's what I was thinking about calling it. I was thinking about calling it a Georgia peach.
Perfect. So I love what I came up with while you were gone was monoliths of Earth that they had to push out of the way.
Yeah.
Or hurdle. And then I went on to do. Go ahead.
I keep meaning to grab my book because I wanted to look at the various skill checks and see where are we? We're down here under stats. I don't know if you can see, but I tabbed. And I can't quite make it out on the camera. It's not accepting it. But I took organizing tabs
Okay.
that you can glue, and I've got green for the classes,
Oh, look at you. You're so clever.
red for the races and some of the rules, and then blue for the rest of the rules.
I love
And so-
it.
'cause I ran out, and
I bought little tabs at one point, and I haven't reorganized, but right now I just have sticky notes sticking. I mean, my monster manual and my DMG and my player's handbook have sticky notes like all over the place. I need to reorganize that.
okay, so let's see here. We've kind of already covered strength, because we've got the quicksand. And
Yes.
and the pushing and the pulling and stuff like that. Let's see, we've got dexterity kind of covered. Dex check to stay upright.
Right.
Constitution. Constitution, it says here, covers holding your breath.
Well,
laboring.
that would be a good quicksand thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put that over in the quicksand area. For those of you just joining us, about the way we are writing is we basically as a my co-host Joe and I, we throw a bunch of brainstorming ideas out there. We kind of hash it out, make a bunch of notes, and then I go back later and edit it into full paragraphs and ways that the DM can look at it and say, this is how we should play this. So don't think we're actually writing the story. We're just coming up with a bunch of ideas and getting input from you, our viewers, to make the story unique and fun.
Yeah, and don't worry about throwing out bad ideas. They don't have to all be good, because at the end of the day, she's gonna go back and just get rid of all our terrible ideas. She just throw them all at us, and she's gonna make us all look like spun gold.
No. Well, okay, all right.
She's a wonderful, good, amazing writer.
I will show you real quick. Let me just take you back a little bit while you're
strong.
Is it really? Oh my goodness. This is the chapter, all the chapters, table of contents right here. And we're right now on Light Seekers. We're right here at this part of the story. Deep in the Netherwork Mines was our first, I think we did that very first. My very first 3 sheets one shot. And this was before Joe was my co-host. So it was kind of boring compared to how it is now. And
Back in long ago.
Netherstone to Stonebridge was basically, I think, 2 episodes. And that was just a couple hours of just sitting down. Well, you can see it's turned into a dozen plus chapters of the story. And it gets into a lot of detail. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll go down to that second chapter and show you what I do with it. This is still chapter 1. But chapter 2 starts right here. And there's maps that I put together using Incarnate Pro. I highly, what's the word? Recommend. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for, folks.
I know, that's why he's here. I highly recommend Incarnate Pro. If you, it's not very much per year, but you get access to all the great map making tools. But I have just written all this extra stuff. This is all based on your ideas, all based on ideas from the chat, but we've put it into story form, and we've put it into the skills that the DM needs to have the players roll for, and that type of thing. I've made maps, made pictures, we've got loot, and I actually have drawn some of my own pictures, like that little rope jar right there. And in fact, that right there, that's the flail snail terrain that I've been working on my Tuesday show. So I'm kind of integrating all that. But this just one chapter of it has turned into, or one arc of it has turned into several chapters. So that's what we're working on. We're just kind of bullet pointing some of these. Let me go down to page 49, and I'm old, so I can't see it very clearly.
And stop.
There we are. Yay, we're right there. So let's go ahead and keep going, but I just want to kind of quick show them that.
Here's a couple of interesting things underneath intelligence checks.
Tell me.
Communicating with a creature without using words.
Ooh. Okay.
Pulling together a disguise.
Okay.
Recalling lore. Winning a game of skill. Those always go over well.
Oh, yeah.
The dice with death is a very common, very useful trope.
Yep. I love it. Okay.
See, under wisdom.
So we're going to take all these suggestions that you're giving us and kind of applying them to a fire-based area or a water-based area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I love it.
Wisdom, you got your classic survival checks that fall under wisdom.
Yep. Oh boy, if I can spell right.
Here's a neat one. Animal handling. There could be, like, in the wind parkour section, there could be like a rock or a thunderbird that needs to be ridden.
I love it. Thunderbird or rock to be ridden, and
cool.
That's
wisdom is under. I mean, listen to me. I meant to say medicine is under wisdom.
Yep.
Perception is under wisdom. Wisdom's got a lot of options underneath it.
And actually, wisdom would be good as far as you just said, like underwater. If they, what was it you said right before? to drink something.
Constitution to hold your breath, or drink an entire stein of ale in one go, or
Yeah, it was something to do with not drinking something that was maybe like underwater. They would find a bubble floating in the water, and they had to actually breathe the air from that bubble, or know not to breathe. Like if there were certain colored bubbles floating in the water.
yeah, that could fall under intelligence or wisdom. Yeah.
Okay, colored bubbles in the water, like pink for poison or something, and then
I'm not sure that charisma would really affect, and it would be able to affect anything, because it's all discussion and
well, but doesn't charisma lead into talking your way out of or into something? So if they met like a sphinx or something,
you could put a sphinx in Earth, or was the Sphinx specifically under the domain of air within the Egyptian pantheon? I can't remember.
we can look it up. Let me put a question mark.
Let's give that a quick Google, and I'll look that up.
Yeah,
for
asking questions and relying on charisma. And actually, that would be an interesting thing to do. Is have one particular elemental, either probably not fire, but maybe air, where a lot of it is just asking and answering the right questions. Maybe 3 out of 4 of them are more strength and dexterity and struggle based, like physical struggle based, and another one is just using your mind. It's just wisdom to choose. What is it in Alice in Wonderland? Drink me or eat me to shrink or whatever, and make the air and the wind something that relies more on answering questions.
Yeah. That wouldn't be too far to stretch, because you could say that because the wind conveys speech, it could also be seen as a kind of not treacherous. Treacherous is the wrong word, but maybe like a duplicitous or subversive when it talks. Where the Sphinx could come in. The Greeks called it the Androsphinx, and the Persians, I had that word somewhere as well. The Boeotian, the Boeotian, Boeotian. You can pronounce it however you like.
God bless you.
Let's see here. The Greek Sphinx was a woman. The Egyptian Sphinx was typically shown as a man.
I'm trying to remember the pantheons we chose for Amynrath. I know Forgotten Realms is one, and the other one was, I think it's Greek mythology. So what is the Greek one?
You had a few. Herodotus described a ram's-headed sphinx he called the Seriosphinxes.
Okay.
And a hawk-headed version called the Heliocrosphinxes.
Wow, I'm impressed that you could say that after that drink.
It's only because of the drink.
Oh, it's because? Okay, gotcha.
If I didn't have the drink, it would have just might as well have been Steve.
All right, we're definitely naming a Sphinx named Steve in this. I gotta write that down. I gotta type correctly, and then I'm gonna write it down. Okay.
There was a single Sphinx in Greek mythology, a unique demon of destruction and bad luck.
Oh.
According to Hesiod, she was a daughter of Orthus and either Echidna or the Chimera, or perhaps even Cato.
Okay, so we need to look up Greek sphinxes.
See here, middle of the Sphinx.
Am I spelling that correctly? I keep using an I, but I thought it was with a Y.
What?
Sphinx?
Everything I see spelled here is SPHINX.
Okay, got it then. That's what I was doing, but for some reason I thought it was a Y in there. Okay, so we've got a Sphinx going, and we decided to maybe put that in the air, and maybe make the air more wisdom, ish.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see it depicted here in just about every instance as having wings, so
I like that.
that would work for
Hey,
me.
I just thought of something else too.
Hit me.
You're in the Proxus, right? You're adventurer, you're a rogue, and you're standing inside the Proxus, and you want to go to Ravenscroft, right? To get there, you have to do what? You have to go to one of the 4 elemental hallways, and are we gonna say you can choose? And so you, as a rogue, would choose the dexterity-based one. Or if you have points put in charisma, you could choose that. You could choose whatever one that they decide, that the kind of the community has said, or the, what do we call them? We had a name for the people there. We had the stewards of the elemental halls.
Oh, okay.
That the stewards said, okay, rogue, you would be best served going to the elemental hall. And then once you're there in the hall, then you say, I would like to travel to Ravenscroft. Is that what we're kind of thinking, that you get a choice when you're in the process of which one of these 4 you want to travel to?
I mean, I always err on the side of player's choice.
Yeah, it would be for beginning, for new Proxus people.
Yeah, in this instance, I would almost say that the power, because we're right at the dead center of the Nexus, where all of the ley line power is centralized and focused before it's sent back out. So I would almost wonder if traveling from here to other places is not only done instantaneously, but it's done with so little effort because there is so much residual energy already in the area that it doesn't take a great force of will. So you could almost mistakenly wind up going to somewhere if you just will yourself to not be there no more.
Okay, so then why are we doing the parkour? Is that just to earn the right to be in the Proxus, and once you've done that, you're done?
Certainly could. It absolutely could be. Yeah. It could be. It could be that this.
It's like
place,
a test.
It could be a test. It could be an antechamber to get.
Yes.
To the like the switching station, like the central hub. Like this could exist parallel to the plane of existence where the actual Proxus hub is, and like. The Proxus as a safety mechanism could send you here first.
I like it.
And all the while watching you, and if you screw it up, well, you obviously don't get to go to the real,
Exactly. Now, someone remind me what it's called, if you're in chat and remember this. Remember in Beetlejuice, where he had to go to... He got eaten by the worm, and he was in the waiting room, and he had like 6,666... whatever, 100,000 in line, and the number on the thing was 3 or whatever. What was that waiting room called? Isn't there a name for that waiting room to before you can advance to heaven or hell? It's called Limbo?
Limbo is what I've always known that waiting space to be called, but I don't know if it has a
Is there another name that mythology, or especially Greek mythology, would call that intermittent area between where the decisions are made, where you're gonna go? I can't think of it.
Let's see here. They just call it the waiting room in the breakdown of the plot for the movie.
Okay.
And as much as I would like to, I'm afraid I don't quite have the time to watch the whole movie to find particular words.
Is it purgatory? Isn't purgatory something?
Purgatory is a word that they use to describe that waiting space. Hold on.
It's something. This is why we rely on you, chat, to help us out. All the Googles, all the Google checks.
I got it right here. Oblivion is also used.
I love that word. Okay.
Siberia.
Yes. Yeah. Or East Bumble. Isn't that something called
East Bumble.
East Bumble? I won't finish that.
Let's see here. It's with Purgatory. Let's see here.
Oh, I do like Antechamber, actually. That's kind of a cool name.
Antechamber's not bad. You've
Antechamber.
got Perdition. Perdition is
yeah.
let's see here.
Antechamber to Oblivion kind of sounds mythical.
So what if there existed kind of well, let me back up and try to explain this another way. So what if the process that they're looking at right now with the wind and the earth
But
and
you can call me Mimsy.
Sorry, I just did the giveaway thing. Go ahead.
What if what they're looking at is kind of the center, and I don't know why I have Colosseums on my head, in my mind, but what if what we're looking at is the center of a Colosseum where the fight would be taking place, but instead of ground, it's all these different platforms.
Oh, I like it.
So around it is this ring of seats, like people could be watching the action in the seats. So with that in mind, what if they meet at the Proxys some kind of caretaker
Okay.
who explains all of this to them? You know, how old are you? Well, it doesn't really matter. I've been here since this place has been here.
Yeah.
I don't really have a name. They just call me the caretaker, something like that.
Okay.
And this person kind of lays it all out for him, explains what's going on, explains how this is the antechamber, how it's like I forgot her name.
Sort of like the caretaker or the.
Yeah. And they explain that what they're looking at is the antechamber. It's purgatory. It's like of the abyss. So it's an oubliette. It's a waiting place that screens you for the Proxys itself. And just if you get attunement to the Proxys, well, that's all well and good. That lets you into the place.
Right.
But the Proxys itself has its own way of testing people, whether they're worthy or not. And that's when this person gets into the details of the tests that are laid out in the middle of the arena.
I like that.
And maybe if they fail, beneath all of this stuff is just a whirling vortex of chaotic fail energy.
Fail equals a whirling vortex of fail energy. I like that. This is a great idea. And here's something else. Once they, let's say that let's go back to a rogue. A rogue is chaotic neutral, chaotic good. And hello, Sarek, welcome. I like Oubliette also. I like that, Autumn. Welcome, Sarek. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. I like that idea of once the rogue gets there, and let's say they have chaotic good, and then they get access. They meet the challenge, the qualifications to travel on the Proxys, but then they go back, and as the DM, of course, would know this. Maybe they've taken a darker road. Maybe they've killed someone they probably shouldn't have killed, or done something that has kind of changed their alignment a little bit. And that caretaker is all-knowing or whatever, and the steward of the Elemental Hall knows this and says, welcome back to the Proxys. You have been deemed. So something is different, and you must now complete this again based on your. I mean, obviously they wouldn't say this, based on your new alignment.
Sure.
That maybe
it could work.
Maybe they're sent through based on their alignment. Maybe it's slightly easier for lawful good and definitely more difficult for chaotic evil, and that's their way of kind of flushing out the.
Could be. It could maybe not have anything to do with lawful or chaotic, or lawful or evil. It could have to do with chaotic, or I mean, a good or evil. It could have to do with lawful or chaotic.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the Proxus is more chaotic, just by its very nature.
Yes, I agree.
So when a person enters that has a more rigid mind or a rigid way of thinking, the Proxus doesn't work as well as somebody who is more fluid and chaotic.
That's true.
But the one thing that dawned on me while you were talking about this this narrator, this guide.
I like the name narrator. I'm going to write that down.
He would be really helpful should a group of fruit-based fraternal individuals with particularly low intelligence should reach the area and need, say, a helping hand to explain things to their collectively low intelligence.
I like it. I like it a lot. And the Banana Brothers are definitely going to need all the help they can get if they ever reach the Proxus. By accident or on purpose. Yeah, I like it. And let's come up with a good name for him. I like narrator. I like the steward of the elemental hall. I think Autumn came up with that last time. Yeah, I know, Autumn. That's funny. I wonder who he means. I don't know. Fruit based. I like those, but I was thinking steward of the elemental hall would be good for the individual halls, like the fire and the.
I would almost think that he's beyond names. You know, like he would just throw out a bunch of stuff. You can call me the steward. You can call me. It kind of doesn't matter. You know, like to him, it doesn't matter. So whatever name he gets is what the players would give him.
Okay, so that would be. Oh, let me put a little DM note.
Which again would go back to D&D being a collaborative storytelling.
Exactly.
That you can set up the broad strokes and the. What did I call them? The fruit-based fraternal order?
The Banana Brothers?
They, they could smooth out the details as they roll, this is, you could even go so far as to say, oh, you could call me the narrator, you could call me the steward, you could call me Steve if you really wanted to.
Right. Then all of a sudden his name is going to be Steve or Chair because they're that idiotic. Okay.
What about Lamp? I like Lamp.
Lamp. There you go. The DM note. Okay, I put down this narrator, steward, keeper would be called by the name given to him or her. And we would have the DM tell the players to describe what they see.
Yeah, and he could look completely different to each one of them.
Each one, yes. Yeah. Given by the
exactly.
players.
Here's to my not-so-secret admirer, Choku, joining the party.
I think those are the best kind of admirers you can see coming.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Anchoku. Yeah, we can call him Al.
We were just talking about you, Anchoku.
We were just talking about one of the Banana Brothers. Keep Al in mind. You might need it in future games, just in case.
Let's see. So
I hope everyone's going to be around for tomorrow's Bob Ross challenge.
It's going to be fun.
Oh my gosh, I am. You can hear them. They're still stomping around upstairs. They're psyched. I got three out of 4 of my children. 3 out of 5 of my children are going to be doing this Bob Ross challenge tomorrow, and 3 of them are up there and they're just whooping it up. I don't know what they're getting into. Who knows?
3 out of 4. 3 out of 5.
I got a lot of kids. Okay. All right. So we were supposed to be working on the parkour part of this story, right? And
yes, that's why I was going to lead us back to that now.
You.
So we've done. So where were we? We've done Earth.
We kind of did some air. We decided on air and wind was going to be like the Sphinx and the puzzly one. So we can skip to water.
Okay. So what do we have with water? We've got
breathing and swimming. Ice.
Constitution for ice. Yeah, there could be the water could be deceptively cold, like it doesn't look that cold, and when you get in, the temperature slowly starts to drop, and you have to make a Constitution save.
Yep.
Oh, you're making the Dex save for swimming.
Yep, deceptively cold or warm, and warm is probably because you're following behind one of the Banana Brothers. Let's see. I hope that sound is only watercolor flying around and not oil based. Yeah, no, we are doing acrylic paints. I'm not letting them oil paint in my stream studio because I don't feel like repainting and recarpeting and repaneling the whole room.
I tried to oil paint one time and my hand was stained for a week.
Yeah. I know that Mr. Ross prefers his oils, but we definitely have our plain old, very inexpensive acrylics. And you'll see during the show tomorrow. I'll have as the video is showing all the titanium white and these words I can't pronounce. I've made a little slideshow to cover over that with the little squiggly mark, no, not that color. How about just plain bright red or whatever? So it'll be a lot easier for them with that easier color. Okay, so water. We've got I like the colored bubbles in the water. Remember, like if you're in World of Warcraft and some of those underwater quests that you have to go on to, they have these bubbles rising up. As long as you stand on that little pod or whatever that with the bubbles rising up, you can breathe. What if it's something like that? What if it's pink bubbles or green bubbles floating and you have to have the int to understand if that's going to be breathable air or even breathable at all, if it's air at all.
Yeah, they could be underwater. It could be a hey, last minute you got 4 bubbles in front or 3 bubbles or however many bubbles it is. You pick one and roll in it to see if you pick the right one.
Exactly.
And then all the Banana Brothers get poisoned.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Roll int, int for sure, based on them. To find the correct bubble for breathing. Okay.
If the water around Joker says if the water around the players turns pink and bubbly, they just lost a member.
Yeah. So,
yeah, Shedzar, it could be a Minecraft mechanic. Yeah.
I like that. Oh, welcome, Shedzar. I didn't even see you pop in. Welcome. Sorry I missed saying hello to you earlier if you said something. Yeah, it's some. I've never played Minecraft, but I've got plenty of kids who do, so I've seen that. And that would be a good idea. Yeah,
and
some sort of...
And I almost wonder if it shouldn't be, here's the problem, how do you want to solve it?
Yeah.
And then the DM has all these options at their disposal based on if the player says, oh, I want to just swim my way across it, or, oh, I want to try and cast this spell and freeze the water and walk across it, or whatever the players decide they want to do. Here is a list of options for tests that we can give them.
Yes.
And who knows if they say, oh, I want to make a dex check to try and swim across. Who's to say the water's not cold and they also don't have to take a constitution check? Well, because you're kind of whenever you're playing D&D, you're kind of always doing improv.
Exactly. And Currents Shedzar, I cannot say her name correctly. I'm so sorry.
You need another drink. Go ahead, take another drink. I'll work with that.
Cheers.
Yeah, currents is absolutely possible. So there exists a shape in physics called a toroid.
Now who's drinking?
It's basically a donut. A toroid is a donut.
Okay.
And that's what we could be looking at here to explain the currents. So let's say with the water, it's flowing left to right, but because they're kind of floating, the water has to go somewhere. So the water goes across and then loops back around on itself. And, so you have maybe a 20 or 40 foot straight bit of river, and then it goes into this toroid shape and loops back around on itself.
Yeah, nope, that's perfect. I like that. Sirach, what we're doing now is we're writing our 3 sheets, 1-shot adventure that eventually, this is the second arc of this adventure of our Amynrath story that the Banana Brothers will be participating in the fall when we start that new stream here on Qyjari's Curious Crafts. So what we've done, and if you haven't tuned in, you might be a little lost. We have the world of Amynrath has a central proxys, we're calling it, and that's kind of an inside joke because I have a Proxon machine, so that's where we got that. And Prox off. And so I'll scroll really quick back to the main map because that's very helpful to see kind of where the world is. And this is the DM map. You wouldn't give this to your players.
Yes, you do.
Well, until they discover it, then you can show it to them.
I'm going to pronounce our latest visitor Evil Elvis.
Yes, that's Evil. Hey, welcome back, Evil Elvis. I'm glad you could be here tonight.
My brain telling me not to pronounce it that way, what almost came out was Thrivel Threlvis.
Cheers.
Cheers, folks.
We're drinking tonight. So here's the map of Amynrath. This is the DM version. You can see the pink lines are our ley lines, which is what we're working on for this story. There's an island in the center there. You can see, I think you see my mouse. And this is the Proxys. If you just travel there on the Silver Sea, you just come across some old ruins. But if you travel there via the ley lines, in one of the 9 out of 10 doors that they've discovered so far, you could get to the Proxys, and that's where we're trying to decide the trial that our players need to go through to be accepted into someone who can travel through the Proxys. So you could basically go to Ravenscroft, go to the Proxys, and then go to any one of the other doors that open into other areas of the world. They also need to discover the 10th door, which is what I think we called our last episode, wasn't it? I think it was. Can you make a Megalodon dungeon a dungeon? Toroid.
Toroid. You spelled it correctly.
Nice and Joku.
I had to go and Google it because I thought it was like Taurus, like Taur, but that's Toroid is absolutely correct.
It would be, Inchoku is one of our banana brothers, so it would be just like him to come up with something that he can't, that he's going to actually end up having to fight himself. So anyway, that's what this kind of story is we're doing, and the second arc of this is getting our players to find the 10th door, which somewhere over here in the west under Hilda's Lament, which we've kind of gone over that story in previous episodes. And now our players, hopefully, if they've survived a bunch of stuff, you guys have thrown underground sea and an oasis that had a jug of something that turned out to be a mimic, and you guys have thrown a bunch of, I think cloakers were involved, Duragar, tons of stuff. But now you're in they're in the Proxys, we hope, if they've survived, and we're decided to make them have to accomplish a feat of some way to prove their, prove themselves to access the Proxys. And since 4 elements basically collided together to form the world
I'm glad you turned up late. Now we can begin.
Hey, Joe, welcome to the stream.
Whoopsie.
Maybe during 3 Sheets 1 Shot, I'll disable that on yours. But thank you so much, Joe, for joining us tonight.
Smart as that be. Good idea.
Hey, you know what? If you're a Twitch sub or a Patreon, you get your own personalized greeting. Well, personalized after a certain amount of time, but you get your own greeting if you're a Twitch sub or a patron. So if you're a patron, say something and you'll get your own little greeting from Sir Mimsy there.
All right, so we got
water.
water.
Yeah, let's go back to page 49, which is what we're working on.
So we just need fire now, or do we need more water?
I think we're okay with water, and let's go to fire. I put a couple things down. I put heat. One thing down. I put heat.
Heat, yep, heat's very good.
The 10th door was just undiscovered because they couldn't find this on the ley lines. They couldn't find where it crossed, and the only thing they could come across was Hilda's Lament, and that's only an old temple ruins that just goes. It's an old temple based on a snake god. I can't remember the name of the snake god. That's a long abandoned. So no one's ever traveled down and gone against the Duragar down there to find that 10th door. So that's kind of that's where they were sent originally. Well, they've made it that far, and they're in the Proxys, hopefully according to the game and how it turns out. So yes, so now we need fire. So now they're proving themselves on these different elemental parkour, right? We decided. And we need to come up with some fire-based parkour problems. Heat definitely is one of them. What were you coming up with, Joe?
Well, let's see. You've got, Shadzar's got a bunch of stuff: asphyxiation, suffocation, inhalation, poisoning.
You know what I can do? I can cut and paste, copy and paste.
Oh, that's a genius idea.
I'm gonna do it. Look at me. That's what I'm doing. There we go. Thank you so much, Shadzar. Awesome. Explosions. Well, it's kind of like combustion, but yeah. Same thing. Ignition, yep.
Let's see. What else do we know about fire?
Well, let's see. There's volcano.
So we
There's
got
lava. Yep. What else? What about a temptation? What gem can be found when volcanic coal, like what is a volcanic gem that might be worth something? And they're tempted by that.
I believe.
A diamond?
I believe. But I'm not sure. Anthracite coal turns to diamond, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a diamond, some sort of a lure, like a lure away from it.
Obsidian. Obsidian is another really good one.
And obsidian is a huge word in the world of Amynrath. There's the Battle for the Obsidian Wilds. There's all sorts of black-colored reference throughout. There's Ravenscroft and Raven's Pride and all sorts of dark-colored. The Netherstone from the Netherwork mines is all very, very dark ore. So that's a very good idea. A diamond lure to try to, I'll also say diamonds to lure them away, right? Okay, lure the adventurers away.
And I wonder if, since we've got the heat element, what if we had a kind of like melting puzzle?
Oh, I like that.
A puzzle that needed to be solved before it melted, and if it did, well, you're just SOL.
Yep, I love it. Discover the solution before it melts. Candles.
Sulfurous pools. Anchoke has got a great idea.
Yes.
That I can neither confirm nor deny will immediately be used against him as soon as they show up on the fired chest.
I had to spell that sulfurous better. Okay. Yes, that's perfect.
And
Chucky, you do realize you're a player in this game, right? Look at Sirac and Evil Elvis both came up with the city at the same time. Thank you guys. That's the best. Wow, such great help from our chat today.
Oh, and don't forget to enter into the giveaway.
Let me type that again. We're gonna hear Sir Mimsy. Give away.
But you can call me Mimsy.
Geysers. I love it. Geysers. I am giving away my flail snail terrain. If we reach 100 YouTube subscribers, I'm at 57 so far, and 25 subs, and guess what? We're at 17 Twitch subs so far. So
look at you, fancy pants.
Twisted! Welcome.
Hey, Twisted.
Welcome. Twisted's going to be my guest host, Joe, when you're at Gen Con at the end of the month.
Oh, I'm excited.
He is going to be something else. So yeah, if you want to enter to win that flail snail terrain piece, if I make those two goals of 100 100 YouTube subs, which is easy because it doesn't cost anything to be a YouTube sub. Just go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, which is Qyjari. It's easy. And the other one is 25 Twitch subs, and we are at 17, so we're really close to that. I'm really excited about that. Okay, all the subs. Thank you, Autumn. You're the best. All right, so we've got earth, air, water, and fire, and we've got we've got a minute left. So quick, does anyone else think? Oh, Shadzar's got stuff.
Yeah, Shadzar's got a lot. He's a veritable lava-based font of information.
We need them back every week. We need to see you every Friday, Shadzar, because this is awesome.
It's terrible, Twisted. I hate food poisoning. It's terrible.
Well, you have some time. You have until the end of the month. If you're not over by then, you might want to see a doctor, sweetie. I can say I know Twisted in real life, so I can say that. I can be a mom to Twisted. It's okay. let me copy and paste what Shadzar said, because those are great ideas.
I believe Anchoku may have the winning suggestion of the night.
Funnel cakes.
Poses a funnel cake puzzle.
You've subscribed. Welcome to the Dragonkin family.
Thank you. I thought you were already a subscriber. You stinker.
You've subscribed.
Another one.
Welcome to the Dragonkin
It's actually
family.
2, 4, 5.
Oh my goodness. Did you just give a bunch of gifts, Twisted? You are so
You've
sweet.
subscribed. Welcome to the Dragonkin
Oh
family.
my goodness. This is crazy. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Twisted.
You've subscribed. Welcome to the Dragonkin family.
Everybody's getting a gift here. Let me take down that little promo so we can see.
You've subscribed. Welcome to the Dragonkin family.
Oh my goodness. Twisted, you are awesome. Thank you. I've lost track of what I was trying to do. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Thank you. I have to catch up on all of that when I get off stream and make sure everyone gets their greeting for the month.
Let's see. You've got. Is it Amber? Is that right? Did I say that right?
Autumn?
Autumn. I always want to say Amber. It's Autumn. Shad
sounds
got one.
Okay.
Evil Elvis got one.
Nice. Make sure you use the funny emotes while you have the chance and you're gifted that sub. Thank you, Twisted.
A Kate Murphy got one.
Thank you.
And perhaps most important, the Sir Mimsy bot got one.
Well, thank goodness Sir Mimsy bot got one. Thank you, Twisted. That was so sweet. Wow, we're really getting caught up now. Since we hit that 25, we're just a few away. That's great. How exciting. Wow, I can't stop smiling. It is already 8 o'clock, and you guys have just taken me by surprise. There you go. Look at that Mimsy with the wings.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Autumn. Let's go find someone that we can raid. How about that? Someone playing D&D, maybe? Is anybody online currently playing? I know Joe. Are you playing D&D tonight?
That'll be tonight at 10 o'clock. All of you wonderful people who are listening to the sultry, dulcet tones of my voice right now are welcome to join us over at twitch.tv/riffandrabble tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern, as we are doing the very exciting aspect of all RPGs that everyone loves. That's right, folks, we're going to go shopping.
It's a shopping episode.
Yep,
you guys are watching me here.
We have finally made it to Waterdeep, and we are in dire need of supplies and new armor and new weapons and new magic spells. So we're going to go on a shopping adventure, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And I want each and every one of you to show up and say hi.
And watch you shop. I love it.
Tell us what to buy. And Choku, you cannot tell me to buy funnel cakes because I'll probably already do it.
A marshmallow on fire dungeon. Okay, you know what? Just as a last thing, I'm definitely adding marshmallows somehow to that.
A s'mores monster?
I love it. A s'mores monster.
Like a Modron, but it's a s'mores with legs instead of a...
I love it. Buy all the candy. Okay, everybody, let's go raid Rainick. Rainick is one of my wonderful patrons, and he subscribes here on Twitch. And after that, maybe they'll send you all over to Joe and Riff and Rabble at 10 o'clock East. Right, Joe?
That is correct. 10 o'clock.
At Riff and Rabble. You see that link below Joe's beautiful face right there. Let me go to the thank you screen. Yeah, he's got pointing to it. Let's go to the thank you screen, and you can see I cannot wait for tomorrow, everybody. If you have nothing better to do at 6 o'clock tomorrow, we are doing a Bob Ross challenge. We will have Drake and Del Mori and Clover all trying to paint along to Bob Ross during this really exciting interactive stream. And you guys can influence. We're trying to raise a little bit of funds to get the Banana Brothers going in the fall time. The Banana Brothers are the players that will be playing this campaign that we're working on tonight. It all comes full circle. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. We are excited for tomorrow. I don't know if Crow's that excited tomorrow. I think he's a little worried about paint getting everywhere in his basement. Let's raid Raynick and make sure you send some Mimsy love to him. And here we go. Raid Raynick. And we will see you guys next Friday. But hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock East for the Bob Ross Challenge. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night. Hurry back. We missed you already.
Good night. Are we singing? Good night.
How's the song go? Good night, farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen, adieu.
Yeah.
Adieu. I don't know. I can't sing. It's from...
To you and you.
All right. Let's go raid. Bye.
I'm old. Bye, everybody.